It is the time of the year when probably most of you have unboxed lots of new stuff from your parents, loved ones, and friends. Let me ask you, why do we give gifts? Of course, all of us love receiving gifts, and even better, giving one. So let me ask you, what is the best gift you have received so far? What is the best gift that you have given so far? What is the greatest gift that you could ever give or share to your loved ones? Let me tell you a true story. This is about a husband, per his request. We'll just call him Benjamin. He works hard to earn an honest living. Doing so, he spends a lot of time away from his family. To compensate, he bought extravagant gifts for his wife. He bought jewelry, but that did not make his wife genuinely happy. He bought a brand new car for his wife, but even that did not work. He bought a house and that seemed to work for a while, but it too was not what his wife desired. He finally found a new way to support his family financially without being separated from them. However, still, something is missing. Let us examine these words from Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verses 10 to 11.
And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor. And this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun.
So from this wise teacher, it is very clear that a lot of things that we think will give us pleasure, happiness, those things that we call the fruits of our labor, in the end, do not mean a thing. Here is more in Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verses 16.
For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool.
God is the greatest gift giver. Let us now examine the three greatest gifts that God has given us. The first of God's great gift is the gift of life. In Genesis chapter 2 verses 7, God did not just create man with his words, which he could have easily done. Instead, he formed us, handcrafted, with his own holy hands, he formed us. How come is it so easy to take this fact for granted? Not even the angels, he formed in this manner. And yet how do we value this life that God has given us? Let us then ask ourselves, are we living this life for the purpose that God has intended for us? Nothing that God has done was done in vain. Everything that is ever created or formed are for his good purpose. And that purpose is, to be with him, to be part of his family. He does not need us. We need him. Out of his love, his generosity, he created us, to share all his goodness to us. The second gift is the gift of free will. For how happy can you be if you are bound to another person's bidding? We are free to choose our ways. Except that we also know, that in every step, every decision we make, whether good or bad, there is a consequence, or a series of it. For this reason, God gave us guidelines on how we can live, and conduct ourselves, to avoid untoward consequences. As we all know, consequences do not come from God, it's from the actions we chose in the past. Again, what did we do with our free will? We chose to disobey him. Then, facing the consequences of our actions, we blame him. Look at it this way, if you give your child a personal computer, and your child abused it and used it on pornography and video games, resulting to bad grades and failure, and then blame you for it, what would you feel? God so loved us, that he is willing to reconcile with us, despite our hard-headedness. For this reason, he gave us the third gift. Of all his gifts, this is perhaps the single most important and greatest gift of all, and that is the gift of salvation. Of all the gifts, this is perhaps the most expensive one. He purchased it with his life, so that we will have a chance to be with him once again, to achieve the life that he intends for us. His precious blood, spilt on the cross, to wash our sins away. He did this for everyone, and while we are still unbelievers. And what did he ask in return? Have faith and believe in this salvation and seek his ways. And the reward is greater than anyone could ever imagine. A life free from pain, from suffering, from disease, and from death. So now, let us go back to our story, and our question. In this life, perhaps the greatest gift, that we can give, or we can receive, is not the gift that will rot and decay. These things just gives us earthly memories, which will also be forgotten, which can be erased by time. Finally, let us read Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verses 11.
There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
The greatest gift that we can share to our loved ones this season is God's gift of salvation. What will be greater and more valuable than that? That after this life, you will get to see each other, there, on the new heaven and the new earth. There, where you can build brand new, happier, living memories. Most importantly, there, where we can finally be with our Creator, who truly loves us, more than any one of us could ever comprehend.